Look like the Unabomber with my hat on. I got my Clinton Raceway hat on. Somebody noticed that the other day. Greg did, I believe. I like it. It's sharp. What a day we had today at the training center. A huge day. Probably had more eyeballs on the horses than used to because of what's going on. What's going on in the world today. Most sets were very, very good. Couple got caught a little speeding. I did also in one. But overall, it was a great day. You know, to be honest, we've been working extremely hard with Brilliant Corners. He made a little break at just coming up to the 1.5 mile marker. Made a little break. He gets a little flustered and a little angry. You know, honestly, he's like a colt that doesn't know anything. You know, we really have to work on teaching him the mechanics of racing. And a lot of the horses, as you can see today, have picked it up and are more than willing to work with the constraints that we've put on them. Brilliant Corners just doesn't get it yet. And, you know, I'm looking over the list. Horses that were, you know, horses that what I would say their training set was poor today. Not that many. You know, realistically, I knew and you knew that Brilliant Corners was going to be a problem today. I knew that. But he was better, right? Seems to be pacing cleaner. Now, if we can keep him sound, I think we can get him to a place where he learns. But he's stubborn, right? And this is the problem. You look at other horses that have not come forward yet. There really is only 2 so far. Around Midnight's the other one, and he's stubborn too, right? This is Capistrano's brother. This is a filly that we love to death here at the farm and has been great for us as a 2-year-old going in, hopefully into her 3-year-old season. But she was real good. This colt, now he was sick a couple of times. We castrated him and he gets sick again. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he needs to do more. Both of these colts do. But when I look at the rest of them, I don't see any issues here. I mean, we'll go through all the sets, right? We'll start from the top. First set, I had Barbie's Crown. Can't Muscle Me was in there. Girls from Swirls. What about Carry a Big Stick? So nobody knew. Well, you knew it if you watched the videos in between. Carry a Big Stick had a giant splint, and it was killing him. And he trained with it today. We had it cry out after the training set today. He almost got through it. James said he just heard the horses coming. He was starting to get a little wired. He said he was loaded. He had lots left, but he was just a little squirrely when he heard the horses coming. He wanted to get at it. He wants to work. He's a worker. So one thing you can say about Carry a Big Stick, he's never shied away from work a day in his life. And we had talked about this earlier in the winter where we have had horses that are sore a little bit in their knees and we have to back off of them. Carry a Big Stick and GW Chrome are two that stick out. GW Chrome was sore, making breaks. Then he didn't want to wear the hobbles. You couldn't find a horse look better than he looked today. And then Carry a Big Stick again. He may have made that break, but watch him up until that break. Big, powerful colt. Loves to do his work. I was extremely happy with him. So again, we have the first set. We had, I'm going to do a top 10 list, but we had 10 winners, right? The first set, Barbie's Crown was good, but I believe My Jazz won that set, and My Jazz has looked great. We talked about her yesterday, how My Jazz has come a long way and has been really quietly very effective for the last 3 or 4 training sets. Then in the second set, Kevin McMaster, call the judges. Kevin crossed the lines over and give Adrenaline Rush a couple of swats halfway down the lane, but he dug in and fought off some horses that were really coming to him. And when I'm looking at this crew, I made a break well after with the Glare AM. I know what we're going to do with her. She'll be fine. She was fantastic today. I moved her 2, 3, 4 times and was still loaded. Every time Kevin swatted Adrenaline Rush, she come right up into her harness. That probably precipitated the break that she made, but man, oh man, she was strong. Fox Valley Britska was very strong today. I'm just talking about the horses I talked about or saw. Johnny said Braemar was loaded, had nowhere to go. I know Cut the Line, he had moved her, she was good. Danny said Broadway Roll got a little rolly in the last turn and then down by the wire, but I think maybe they tried sneaking her hobbles out. Got to pull those back in. There won't be a problem there. And then First Glance was good again. So set 2, Adrenaline Rush was a winner, I believe. Set 3, I never got on the board until set 5. We'll start set 3. GW Chrome and Miss Meringue were absolutely flying on the end of the wire on the end of the mile. I actually changed Roy Hill's shoes around to a set of flip-flops today. Danny said he was much more comfortable today. Very strong. So Admirable was strong also. Mama Knows Best was closing on the end of it. And Little Captain, I kind of put her in a little bit in too tough. She might not have been ready for that, but Harry said she was very good. Just probably not a front-end horse yet. And two, when you look at who she was in with, she was in at kind of a deeper end of the pool than was probably fair for her today. But he said she was good. Fourth set, I made that break with Brilliant Corners. James said, that's my girl, jogged. He said, yeah, I get up and beat the Fat Cobra and I'm Hill on Wheels. Jesse Balboa was fourth. He was good. Perfect Record was back a little bit. That was his first training trip in 2.5 weeks. Probably than that, Perfect Record was good. But that's my girl. James said she just inhaled them late in the stretch. Now, I haven't seen the videos yet, so I'm going by what James said. He said she jogged. So that's my girl. Very, very good for James Day. Very happy with her. Then we went into set number 5. I assume, looking at the lineup, Frilly Fringes and Holy Chick would be the two layover favorites in here. But Darling Please may have made a little break. I'm going to make some equipment adjustments. Mechanically, I can tell you why she made a break. She ran in at the point of the turn. Both places she made a break. Point of the turn, ran in. Looked like she might have got close to her shin. Don't have shin boots on her. She rolled off stride. She got a Murphy blind on the outside. I said to Danny, I don't mind the 2 poles. I don't usually like putting a pole on each side, but we have 2 poles on her. She had an open bridle on a Murphy outside today, a Murphy blind outside. That was causing her to run in a little bit. I think if you put a closed bridle on her and take that Murphy blind off, I think you'll see a marginal, maybe a little more, depending on how she is next week, but definitely an improvement from Darling Please. She didn't need to improve today at all. Made a break, spotted them a lot of lengths. Swooped the field down the backstretch. Got a little tight to Holy Chick in the last turn. Steve was saying maybe an objection could have been put in. Holy Chick was good also, but Darling Please swooped the field, won. Now, when I was coming down the backstretch, I startled Frilly Fringes. That's the only reason she made a break. Amy was just trying to let her trot along easy. I told her after, I said, Frilly Fringes better just snap her on the tail and put the bit in her mouth and drive her like a driver. And she responds very, very good. But if you let her dawdle, she just takes care of herself. She goes out and plays. And made a little break. James made a little break in there with Italian Grady. I saw him. He's running in a little bit in the middle of the turn. Might need a Murphy and a head pole, maybe a little sharper pole on. Just gets running in a little bit and rolled off stride. Cambridge Star was good. Argento was good. Holy Chick was very good. Frilly Fringes made a moderately rare break. I doubt that will reoccur, and certainly not Amy's fault. I mean, the filly, she's a driver's horse, right? If you drive her like a trainer or just somebody going out for a training trip, she's not going to look as good. Plus, when I went by her, I really did startle her with Darling Please when I swooped the field, and I think combination of those things, just Frilly Fringes just came unglued for a second, but has been one of our very, very good horses for the last little while. No concerns there. And then we had in the 6th set. Now, what happened here? I made a break with Northern Blizzard. Now, 2 things happened with Northern Blizzard. Northern Blizzard's been training fantastic, but has been training hard. He was running in a little bit. He struggles in 3rd gear. Now, I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Going slow in what we'd say 1st gear, he's perfect. As you start to speed him up, he doesn't mind going fast. If you could see the last 3/8, 5/8 of a mile, he was trotting hard, running in a little bit, not a big deal. But he struggles when you're trying to get him to relax in a hole. What I would say is 3rd gear. So as they're picking up speed and slowing down, picking up speed, slowing down, that kind of jostling in the first part of the mile, he struggles with that. And we have to work on that. That's not a problem. But I think overall, Northern Blizzard's just been working really hard the last 2.5 weeks or so, and he's running in a little bit more today. Those breaks were more attributed to me not being rough on him at the start of the mile and really scoring him down and getting him thawed out, really just asking him to go out and do his work quietly. It wasn't a great day for him in that regard, but you can see how much this horse can trot and how fast he is. This horse will wander up into our top 10, I think, at some point and stay there for the remainder of the year, as long as we take care of him now. So, as I said to Danny after, we'll drop Northern Blizzard back into a little slower competition the next few weeks. A number of the horses, in set 9, we went way too fast. We're going to back those horses up closer to 30 for the next 3 weeks. And call a spade a spade. Nobody wants to admit when they're wrong, but it was my fault. We went too much in the 9th. We'll get to that in a minute. So in the 6th set, I'm a Lovely Lady. I squeezed her real good down the lane because Blizzard was running in, and she stayed right at it and looked fantastic. Well and Down was closing hard. Momo went a huge mile also. So did Cirrus Blue Chip. But War We Welcome. We knew this was going to happen. I knew this filly was going to have a breakout training set one of these days, and I'm glad that it was today under the drone so everybody could see her. This is why we've been touting this filly. Mario came first over and knew enough. He got up alongside Davey and said, hey, we're going way too fast, and just sat there. Dropped the anchor and just packed a lunch and sat outside of Momo the entire way. Slowed the middle, the last half down a little bit, at least 3/8 of it down, and then really tramped on the accelerator down the lane. I was coming quickly with Northern Blizzard and couldn't catch up to them down the lane. Momo was fighting with War We Welcome, but War We Welcome won the set. Momo, Well and Down, I'm a Lovely Lady were all right there. Cirrus Blue Chip was just behind them, and that I was to the outside. We were all within 4 lengths and finished up really well. But War We Welcome, ultra impressive today. Not that shocking, is it? And then in the next set, we come back with my girl. This filly put a smile on my face and always does. Won My Heart Hanover. Just showed how versatile she was today. I sat six the whole way with her, and then Kevin looped over to the front with Better's Hope. And as soon as Kevin went to sit down a little bit, I moved from 6th to 1st in the blink of an eye with this filly. Huge turn of foot, crossed over the front, but the most impressive thing took place next. I just stopped her right there. Full bore, right to the front, and put her in neutral immediately. She just settled and settled. Kevin come out of the 2-hole, and I could feel her grab a hold of the bit, and her ears come forward. She has an open bridle on, and just laid waste to everybody. She was so good. Better's Hope showed a lot of tenacity today. He was pacing very hard on the end of it. We were smoking on the end of it. He looked good. James said Desperado was good. Harry said Tipsy and Dixie was good. Mario was happy with Lincoln Hanover. And Danny was thrilled with Rose Run Why Not. So that entire set 7, overall might have been our best set all day. All those horses looked good. Won My Heart Hanover looked incredibly impressive to me. Then we went to set number 8. Set number 8, Stacy Hanover was good. She won it. Tanzanite Tricks, equally good. Very, very good, this filly. Off-Road Hanover, that was his first training trip since being castrated. Steve said he was very good. James was really impressed with Let's Roll On. Now, for those of you who watch Let's Roll On closely, partners of mine on the horse, he's had issues with his gait, right? Getting out of gear, getting rough. James said he didn't see any of that today. He said he was very, very good. Very grounded, very straightforward today. Moved him, trotted as hard as he could to the wire, but we were smoking on the end of it also. No free lunch, Danny said was very good. And around midnight, he was a little outmatched today, but I talked to Mario after. He said he was pacing good. He just needs to do more. So when we look at that set, I'd said Stacy Hanover was good. I'd like to see Stacy Hanover do her work a little bit better. But overall, I don't mean better by speed. She got lots of speed, but she can get pacey sometimes, get out of gear. When she's trotting, she's beautiful. When she's not trotting her best, there's some iffy moments there. You're like, is she going to get pacey and make a break? Is she going to get out of gear? Was very, very good today, though. I was very happy with Stacy Hanover in today's set 8. Now, set 9 was a bit of a dog's breakfast. I really moved over to the front thinking somebody would come and cover me up. Beef and Cheddar's not as good on the front end, and he was tremendous on Saturday in training. So we ended up going in 22, which is a little bit more than I wanted to go, and we were flying on the end of it. James, actually, Eternity Road was catching up, made a little break at the wire. James said he just rolled off real quick, no big deal, but he was pissed off at me, and he should have been. I went a little too much, and that's the way it goes. But as I said to him, I'm not really worried about it. I'm not worried about any of the horses in there. Every horse in that set can be backed up now for the next 2 weeks. Went in 22 now. I'd say we'll go back to 30, 29 or 30 for the next 2 weeks. Beef and Cheddar was beat. I was collared. What kind of trip was Gray as a New Red today? For those of you saying, geez, is she good enough for those? I hope they race in Ohio. Love of God, I hope they race in Ohio this summer and they start on time. Look at the horses. I'm just going to run through a list quick for myself, for my own catalog here. Ohio. We'll start with My Jazz. Fantastic today. My Jazz. Who are you by? No, you're in Indiana. Mama Knows Best. closing hard in the end of it, looked great again today. Miss Meringue, GW Chrome, and Roy Hill. 6 heavy hitters already for Ohio. Then we'll go to 6 so far. No, you're Indiana. Holy Chick, she's been great. 7. Well and Down, 8. I'm a Lovely Lady, 9. Momo, 10. There's 10 horses that are all as good as horses we've had in the past for Ohio. 10 we're at so far. Desperado, 11. He's been great. Was good today. It was fantastic on Saturday. Desperado's 11. Rose Run, Why Not, 12. Let's Roll On was good again today. He's on the move. There's 13. 13. Eternity Road, 14. Gray is the New Red, Ford, 15. 15. Can't Deny My Spirit. He was good today. It's his first training set. We'll talk about him in a minute. We'll call him 16 anyway. 16 horses going to Ohio this year. And realistically, all 16 trained pretty good today. So we're at set 9. I had Beef and Cheddar, and Steve came and beat me with Gray as the New Red and looked very good doing it. I guess Eternity Road was 3rd. Blue Monk Warwy was up. Everybody in that set was very good. Everybody was, 1, pissed off at me, but 2, very, very happy that the horses went so good. It's pretty hard not to be impressed with everybody in set 9. So set 9, I guess, and as I said, set 9 and 7 were our 2 best. Set 9 was probably the best set of the day. And the winner was Gray is the New Red. Then we were out in set 10. This is a mixed bag of horses that are trying to get their act together. Some of them had time off. Rito Sunshine was castrated, then was coming off the virus, then was castrated. Now is getting it together. He made a little bit of a break today and ran over me when he did so. So we got to work on Rito Sunshine a little bit. Sunshine in May, Kevin was very happy with. Again, he said, now she was quiet. Before she'd run away a couple of times on Jacques and then Kevin. Today she was quiet and did her work well. Set the Mood, swooped the whole field, was fantastic. This is another horse that we had given time off because he was pinchy and a little sore. Looked great today. Can't Deny My Spirit was his first training trip back in a month today. He looked pretty good. Working on my beach bod, James and Johnny had asked me to go with him, see what I thought. I thought he was good. I had offered my opinion on some changes they might be able to make with him, and I think he'll be fine. But working on my beach bod, you can tell he wants to do his work. Just has some issues that they have to deal with. And then Remen Hanover, Jason's horse, was good again today also. So that set 10 was a little bit of a group of horses that were coming forward, but trying to get to the point where a lot of the other ones are right now. A little bit behind, I guess, is the easiest way to put it. So those were the 10 sets. If you're going to make me pick who won the last set, Set the Mood won the last set. So I'm going to give you a little top 10 list. We're going to run through it real quick. Here, I'll make it up pretty easy. Number 10, I'm going to take no, I can't do that. It's going to be 12. I'm going to give you 12 horses. I'm going to have two that were in 2 sets because they were both very, very good. And then 8 other winners. So 10 winners and 2 second place finishers. And it's only fair to do. Number 10, Set the Mood. Set the Mood was his first start back today. First training trip. No, it's his 3rd training trip back. But he was very, very good today, and that's the best he's been in quite a while. Very happy. We took our time with him over the last month, and he's looked great over the last 2 weeks. So Set the Mood easily number 10. Coming in at number 9 was Darling Please. Might have made a little break today, but caught up and laid waste to the field. She'd come big last half, I think, Darling Please. Lots to work with there, right? Still rough around the edges, running into the turns, running out in the straightaways, getting a little rough in places, but behaved. She followed and behaved when I asked her to, and then when I asked her to really trot the last little bit, she was 3 wide, 4 wide, looped the field, and was a winner today. Worth noting in there, Holy Chick was very, very good also. So number 9 we're going to give to Darling Please. Number 8, it is going to be a tie in 8th between 2 horses, Stacy Hanover, Tanzanite Tricks. Both were exceptionally good today. Very strong, did their work very well. Very happy with them. They're in the number 8 spot. Number 7, Adrenaline Rush. This horse has been coming on, and Kevin may have broke the urging rule in Ontario. I believe he did. But Adrenaline Rush showed a lot of tenacity and a lot of fight to him today. Fought off a couple of horses that were coming to him and looked really good doing it. Easily number 7. Number 6 is going to be My Jazz. She continues to be great and look good again today. Quietly, though, right? We don't do a lot of talking about My Jazz, but she's been fantastic the last 3 or 4 training sets and really, really looked good today. Steve did a good job with her. That's My Girl. Comes in at number 5. James said she was nothing short of very, very good today. He really liked her. It's the first time James has gone with her in a while. So this is a really nice filly. I was happy. I didn't get a chance to see her that close because I had made a break with Brilliant Corners, but James was really happy with her. Number 4. Where are we at? Number 4. I see who number 1, 2. Number 4 is going to be a tie between Miss Meringue and GW Chrome. They both deserve this. GW Chrome has been awesome the last 3 weeks. Miss Meringue, this is the first time to go there. I know a lot of you out there have been asking, are you going to go with Miss Meringue? Are you going to go with Miss Meringue? Well, there you go. I went with Miss Meringue today. We were smoking on the end of it. She looked very good, but call a spade a spade. GW Chrome, I knew he was going to get a little weak in the last turn. GW Chrome's smart, runs in a little bit. I said James is going to baby him. I went to get away on him with Miss Meringue. We're getting away on George. We come out of the turn and George inhaled me halfway down the lane. But both are very, very talented Ohio horses. Number 3, you're not there yet, Steve. Oh, wait, no. Number 3, War We Welcome. She's been off down the list a little bit. We've been talking about her past accomplishments for quite a while, and today she showed why we talk so much of her past accomplishments. She was nothing short of awesome today. Could easily be number 1, but I think fair is fair. The 2 horses that are coming in at number 1 and number 2 deserve to be exactly where they are. You know what? Gray is a New Red is coming in at number 2. I was going to make her number 1, but the number 1 horse has been so good for so long, it's almost impossible for me not to put her there. It's a very close photo, and maybe I'm biased, which I might be. We can say they're both 1 and 2, but I'm putting number 2 as Gray as a New Red. Look great. Steve did a good job with her today. Maybe he perpetuated some of the last half being a little quicker than it should have, and the mile being quicker, but nevertheless, that's just as much my fault as his. And Gray as a New Red was nothing short of sensational this afternoon. And the number 1 spot goes to One My Heart Hanover. Yeah, I am biased. I love that filly. I love what she does. I love how she does it. The way she approaches her work is incredible. Today, with that move coming to the half mile, or I guess the mile marker, was awesome. Then the way she went to sleep and waited, and as soon as they come to her, turned it back on and was gone again. Can't teach horses that. It's so, so nice to sit behind a horse that's that handy, that smart, and really, to be honest, that fast. She went much slower than Gray as a New Red today, but just such a handy filly. I'm putting One My Heart Hanover in at number 1 where she belonged this week. She was awesome. Just a great day all around. You know what? For those of you who tuned in because you just were sick and tired of the doom and gloom of the world, we're glad that we could be a part of maybe bringing a little bit of sunshine to your life. I know, regardless of what's going on, when I leave this training center, I'm leaving here with a smile on my face. So impressed with so many horses here today. It really was an incredible day of training. Very happy with the professionalism, one of our caretakers, and the tenacity of them. Very impressed with the horses, how they operated today. It was the first real nice day to train. And I got caught speeding a little bit in one set, but overall, all the horses showed how much work we've actually been able to put into them. Even though it hasn't been a great winter, and we're going through a tough time right now in the world, we still have our horses to look at. We still have our horses to watch. So for those of you who don't own any horses with us and tuned in today, thank you. For those of you who do own horses, thank you also. And I hope you got to watch all the sets, all the drones, all your horses, and also left with a smile on your face. So stay safe, stay 6 feet apart, and hope everybody had a great day. I know I did.